Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys a tutorial on this super cute protective hairstyle. So it's a half up, half down. I have feeding braids in the front, and I have like a sew-in, like the quickest sew-in in the back. You'll see how I do it in the tutorial, but all you're going to need, girl, is an old wig in like half a pack of braiding hair. Half a pack of braiding hair. That's it. An old wig and a half a pack of braiding hair. That's all you need for this gorgeous hairstyle. And it is super fast, super simple, and you'll be looking cute and put together. I just put some conditioner on it, so it's a little bit not as big, but yeah, you can do this with any style you want. If you want to use straight hair in the back, kinky straight, curly. I kind of like how the curly looks with this style. With my bantu knots in the front and my lovely curls in the back. So I tried this style once before, and it seemed to be an amazing protective style. My hair grew so much and it stayed moisturized and protected. So let's get into this tutorial, guys. If you're interested in doing this style by yourself, keep on watching. Alright guys, so this is the braiding pattern. I have two sections braided out where I'll do my cornrows with bantu knots, but then I have this one thin braid here that wraps all the way around my head. I started in the back, in the middle, then came all the way around. This is my anchor braid. Now I will tuck this in here, and I have 3 braids where I braided the majority of my hair in the back. It doesn't have to be perfectly parted, but I will wrap this up and put it within the stocking cap, and that will be the back section. Now, applying your stocking cap. I decided to use 2 and it was a little tight. I had to stretch it out. So I'm going to use this anchor braid as, my point of reference. So I'm going to try to hook the cap around the anchor braid so it falls directly behind those 2 braids for my cornrows. So I applied the second cap, and this is the wig. I just removed the lace as well as the elastic bands from the sides, as well as the combs and pins. So now I'm gonna line it up exactly with the stocking cap so it falls pretty flush behind the 2 cornrows that will be my cornrow sections, and I'm going to sew this down. So make sure you get a nice secure knot on the end of your thread. It'll make things so much easier for yourself. Now I like to start in the middle because that's where I can see. So I go under the weft so that that first knot is like neatly hidden, and I go straight through the weft, and as I come through, when I go back under, I go through the braid. Now make sure when you go through the braid and come back out, you pull the needle through the loop. That is what's going to secure your stitching and make it like really solid and not just wiggling around, like it'll be unsnatchable. Nobody can snatch your weave. Make sure those knots are pretty secure. So I go ahead and do this around the entire perimeter of my head. And you don't really have to do them close together. Once you do these looped knots, they'll be nice and secure without you needing to stay like really close together. So I'm doing my stitches about 1 inch or so apart, and I go all the way around the perimeter of my head and make sure it's secure all the way around. So now I've finished that side. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. I'm not sure if you guys caught it in the back where I moved my hands around like twice around the needle, like pretty small circles. I'm doing the same thing, which is pulling the thread through, but because I'm like used to this, I can just hold the tip of the thread and just wrap it twice around my needle, and it's basically the same effect, just that you don't have to like pull the whole thread. But as time progresses, you guys will be able to do that as well. Now, cut the thread as close as possible to the knot. That's why it's essential that when you're at the back where you're ending that stitching, you loop it at least twice, so it's like really tight, so when you cut the thread, it's still stable and can't be moved. So this is how it looks. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the 2 braids in the front. So let me just get all this hair out of the way so none of it gets caught up in my cornrows. So these braids in the front, the first time I did this style, I think I did about 6 cornrows on each side, which would give you smaller cornrows and smaller bantu knots for more of that like halo crown look. But this time I only did 3 cornrows on each side, which would give you larger cornrows and only 3 bantu knots, which is pretty cute as well, but this takes less time, and I'm playing around with this hair because it looks kind of good. So I wanted to give myself a side part, which I do recommend, because in order to cover up the weft and stuff, it's better to do an angled part so that the bantu knots will eventually end up covering that weft. So I love using the why am I saying got to be shine and jam on my parts. They give a nice crisp clean part. So after I parted that initial section off, I'm just going to tie that section away and pre-part my other 3 sections for this side of my head, and then use my shine and jam and clean up my parting. If you guys have been here on this channel for a while, you know I love pre-parting my hair. It makes things so much easier, and it gives you a more crisp end result because you're able to, you know, measure and make sure everything is neat before you start braiding. If you make a mistake, it's easier for you to correct it if you pre-part. So working on 1 cornrow at a time. If you guys want a dedicated tutorial on how to do feed-in braids, I do have one on my channel. I'll link it above, but if you want an updated one, I'll be happy to oblige. Just leave a comment down in the section below. Let me know you'd like to see more one-on-one tutorials like braiding, feed-in braids and stuff like that, and I'll be happy to get that out to you. But what I'm doing here is feed-in braids. I hate seeing a knot at the beginning of a braid. That's just so tacky to me. Then after I do the braid, I just go ahead and wrap the length of the braid around into a bantu knot, but not completely, just partially. Then I take my needle and thread and stitch the bantu knot in place so it has the bantu knot but still that nice fall of the braid that adds a little bit of dynamic and coverage to the front of the weft as well. So this is the finished look, guys. This is how the style looks. It's a pretty quick and simple style. Once you get this down, you can be done with this in an hour and a half, 2 hours max, depending on how fast you are with braiding. But this is a super cute, simple style that is great for keeping your edges protected, your ends protected, keeping your hair moisturized while you're, you know, looking to get those hair growth goals. Okay. Alright guys, and that is the tutorial. I hope you learned something from it and you're a little bit better equipped to do your own protective styles, because it really is a superpower, girl, to do your own hair. You'll save money and it's a skill, you know, these times. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with the next one pretty soon. So until next time, guys, bye bye.